Alright, so I'm going to record this. Welcome. So we going to look at this question: design and implement the class day. So we need to create a class named day. So it's going to implement the day of the week in a program. So we talk about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the class day should store the day. Okay. So the program should be able to perform the operations: set the day, print the day, return the day, and return the next day, and return the previous day. Okay, and calculate and return the day by adding certain days to the current day. Okay, so let's talk about just simple, like this is, we create a class day and we're going to do setter. Right, a class should have setter and getters, right? So I'm going to open Eclipse and create the day class, create a new project. Alright, so project name day, and right click new class. Now the question is, what should be the attributes of this class?
You have to find the day, like Monday, Tuesday, and so on.
So this is a class without a main. Okay, and we're going to create a driver class to test this too, which has the main. So I'm going to call the driver with the main. Okay, so we're going to pretty much just instantiate a day, right? We just name day equals to new day. Alright, so let's take a look at day. So the question is, implement that class day. Okay, we did that, right? Implements the class day. Now the class day should store the day, so that means we need to have the day. So we're going to create an instance, the instant variables. Instant variables name day should be a string. Now the question is, okay, I can do set and getters. I can set the day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to day, and print the day pretty much as two string, right? So let's make it simple first. So I'm going to just generate the constructors. I can use the Eclipse tools here, right? Right click, go to source, and do generate the constructor using fields. And also same, do the get and setters. Right click, source, and I can do the two string. Two string is pretty much just the method that print the day out, whatever it means here, right? return a day back. So now we have set the day, print the day, and return the day. Now we have set the day, print the day, and return the day. The question is not, okay, how to do that because we have it. But the question, the challenge is, how do you return the next day? Well, since if I do set the day, I can just pass like Monday for my driver. So let's test that. So now in the constructor, I can just click, okay, today is Monday. And then if I want to get the day, I might just do system.out print day. So if I do that, I just run this. It's pretty much just going to print the day for me, which is Monday. But if I want to create a method name return next day, okay, so I can just, like besides setting getters, you can always add more methods. Alright, so I can just say, okay, public and string next day. So next to Monday should be Tuesday. Now the question is, how do we return Tuesday back when I'm going to add return statement, right? Because if I do return day, this is not going to be next day, it's going to be Monday back. So let's see, if I say system.out print line again and say date next day, it's going to be Monday because the program pretty much just returned the day, which is Monday. Then it's not working properly yet. So let's take a look at this Monday again. See that? So how are we going to fix that? So now this is based on our algorithms. We know that if we create, okay, we have to use an array, maybe, right? An array that store. So I'm going to say, and this is supposed to be private, okay? And also here is supposed to be private. Just use inside class here. So I'm going to say array of days, and to create an array, we use the square brackets like that. Equals to, just skip the day, okay, one day, right? Or we can make it short, like such as sun, person, day, like the question say. So we just do 1, and then 2, and then Wednesday, right, Wednesday, and then Thursday, and then Friday, and then Saturday, and then Sunday. So now the index is 0, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 0 to 6, right? 7 next. Now to return the next day. Now we pretty much just, first, if I make it 1, 2, right? Okay. One way is we can just get the index of the day, right? Do this, and then we can just do the next index. That's gonna be next day, right? Like that's one way to do, right? So how to get an index of the day? that the user entered from, right, the day driver. So you can just map, right? Map, if it's the same, then you get it back. Alright, so that means the next day here we have to modify a little bit, right? So we may say, we're going to say we need to get the index. So let's create a method. This can be private because this is going to be inside the class. That's why we don't want the driver to see it outside. This is just a method to support to get index in here. So that's why we make it private. So we're going to say get index. Get the index because we're going to put a parameter, and this is going to return an int because this is an array. And the parameter pretty much just the day that you're going to pass in. Then you know that what's the index of your current day. Okay, so it's going to return the index. So how do we get an index? That's the question. So we say we need to loop, right? For int I equals to 0, I less than the days dot length, and then we just do I plus plus. So we go loop. So now we can get into the array with I, and we just do compare if days equals to this dot day. That is the time that we found the index. So we just return I. So because we found the index, so we know that if it's Monday 0, 0, then that means when you do, but if you look through this and you not found anything, you may say, okay, invalid input, so we're going to return -1. So now next day we'll need to just get the index to help. So we just say if get day index, okay, not equals to -1, right? So because if it's equals to -1, then we have problem, right? That means the data the user enter could be not existing, some valid input here. So only it's greater than -1, then like not equals to -1, then we're going to return. So else we may just say invalid input, right? So we're going to return like invalid day. So now this one can be a string, so I'm going to just say like this is going to be a string, create variables to use. And the reason I do this because we're going to just return only once instead of keep returning twice like there. We're going to just say string, right, and the name of the variables here, let's say I'm going to return like the message. So I'm going to say string message, okay, and first is going to be equals to an empty string, and instead of return before, I just say message equals to invalid input, and it's just return an int. The reason I do that because this one will be changed to, right, and just return an int right there. We don't have to return inside. several times, just change the values. So get day index not equals to -1. So that means, right, so we have to actually get the day index 2 by passing the day in, right? So int day index, which is going to return back from this method when you pass the day in, which is this dot day. That's your current day, right? And then we just check if day index not equal to -1, then we're going to return a message say the next day should be what? Day, right, an array with the day index +1. That should be the next day. I mean, Monday is going to return Tuesday. Alright, so let's recap this again. So next day, like if I put Monday, it should return Tuesday. That means if I know the index of Monday, which I can get the index and pass the day, right? This dot day. Like in this case, driver put Monday, it's going to return 0. And if the index not equal to -1, which is 0 is not equal to -1, we just say 0 plus 1. Then it's going to return Tuesday as the message, and it's going to return. Okay, but in the case that if the index not equals to 0, but it's happen to equals to -1, then it's with invalid day, because our get day is supposed to be index 0 to 6. Okay, so that's why we have the get day index taken care here to return -1 for input, because it has to look with 0 to 6 only and return between those numbers. Alright, so just test this one first by running this one. There you go. Now we see the output Tuesday, that's the next day. Like first we create Monday. So if I say something else like once, then it should say invalid input instead. Let's test. We want to test in both cases, if correct and else correct, not correct. Invalid day. So now we know that we have to fix that, right? Okay, so now the challenge is going to be even further. Let's test with Tuesday. Tuesday is going to return Wednesday, see, which is next day. Good. And Wednesday, it should work. I'm going to test. Normally when you test, you have to test all the scenarios. That's a good practice. So let's run. We need to save it first and rerun it. Wednesday, Thursday, right?
Wednesday.
And let's rerun Thursday to test. It's Friday, next day, right? So if I do Friday, Saturday, it will work. Alright, so let's test. I say it should work Friday, but I just try to show you that at one point it will not work if you really think about this. So that's why Friday to Saturday, right? And Saturday, right? We do +1, correct? What is the index of Saturday? Think about that. Saturday should be 5 plus 1. 6, right? So let me put the program next to each other, side by side. Okay, on top like that. That's getting it. Saturday, and we say +1, right? So I prefer side by side better, because then you can see the top part which I want to show you. We are here, right? Index 5 plus 1 Sunday 6. Yes, works. Now, thing that's not going to work is if you think about Sunday. Because what happened to Sunday? Sunday is index what?
6.
6 plus 1 is going to be
7.
7. So what happened when you said 7? Can you think about the errors message that we can get? Index outbound. That means this is the good learning trick. Index outbound means when you're dealing with an array, you see that because your array only have 0 to 6. Now I said at 7, there's no such 7. So because 6 plus 1 is 7, you try to refer to something that never existed. This next day doesn't work at that point because next day from Sunday should be Monday. Alright, so how do we fix this problem? If you really think about, you have to use an algorithm to actually make it loop back. Right? When you get to that point, it's good to go back to the beginning. So there are many ways to do that. Okay? So it just depends on how smart you are, which I'm sure we are all smart. So you have to coming up with the logic how to handle that. So at this point, I would recommend you to pause the videos and think about it by yourself first to challenge yourself a little bit. And then you can play the video for the answer later. Alright, to get to the answer for this, I'm going to create a modulator demo. This is just one way. You don't need to follow this. Which in your answer, I don't want to see you have this because this is my solution. I want to challenge yourself to do something else. Okay, so let me review the concept of modulator. For example, we talk about days here. 1 mod 7. Mod return the remainder, correct? So if I do 1 mod 7, what should be the answer? System.out, right? Let me run the program. 1. Cool. That means if index is 0, let me test with that. Index 0 is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now I can loop this, but I just try to make it simple to just explain it. Monday, Tuesday is index 1, right? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Is that Sunday? So Sunday, that means we actually want to do mod by 6 then, right? Because it should returns its own number back. Actually 7 is correct. Because 6 mod 7 remainder is 6, right? Alright, so let's just test that. It should return its own number back. Yes, right? 0 to 6. So we know we get Monday to Sunday. Now, the next day when it adds 6 plus 1, it becomes what? 7. I want to return index 0, correct? Which is going to be bring me back to Monday again, right? Which is going to do it because 7 mod 7 is 0. Make sense? So the same, if I do 8, then it's come back to the next day. So that means whatever number that you enter in, if you mod 7, it's going to loop back. That is the answer. Like I said, this is my answer. I don't want you to have the same answer. There are many ways to do this. That's why don't look at my answer, it's better. Alright, so now I just explained that, then you understand the concept. But like I said, there are many ways to deal with this. You should come up with your own algorithms. That using math is faster for the process. Alright, so that means at this point my get day index, this has to do mod 7, right? Is it right? No, it has to be at the point that I add right here. Yes, and then mod 7 right there, because you add next day. Okay, and explain why mod 7. So this is a good point that sometimes we like to put this in comments, right? Mod 7 to get back to index, right? 0 to loop back to the beginning of the index. You can just loop to help, okay, but loop is not easy. I mean, to implement is not as fast and efficient as math, like that long. To beginning index of array, days array, to prevent right out of index of So sometimes this is a good point to put the comments, because you may forget why you have to do mod 7, and this is just explained to other people who are reading your program. They understand. Good practice in the commenting program. So now that should be the solution. Let's test by running Sunday. It should give you Monday back on my driver. I already have it. Let's check the answer. Okay, it has to save the program first. Let's rerun it again. Sunday day dot next day day index. Okay, and make sure you put parentheses, because the order of the precedence, right? It's going to mod before you add. We're supposed to make it add before you mod. Voila, we get answer Sunday, then we get Monday, which is good. Now the question also want you to find previous day. Previous day should be the same concept, right? Which is previous day methods. And it's just do, instead of plus, we just do subtract, right? So I don't need to show you that. I think you can handle that. Now, how about calculate and return the day by adding certain days to the current day? Alright, so this is pretty much just calculate day. So let me show you a little bit. I'm going to put the method name calculate day. So instead of next day is always add by 1. Calculate day pretty much just pass in a number, right? That like 10 days from today, right? So let's name it as 10 days from day, like what we call that number. I just naming is sometimes hard, but it's a good way to name something that relevant to the topic. Like, okay, let's say number of days for now. Okay, number of days. So like it's the same concept that we have to loop through this and get back, but instead of next day is plus 1. Like In the next 2 days, it's going to be number of days, right? Plus 2. So you should do the same. Get the current index first, right? Which is the same here. I'm going to copy this, get the current index. And if it's not, if it is valid pretty much right, then we just do plus with the number of days instead of plus 1. If it's invalid, just do return the message. So the same right there, but just replacing plus 1 because it can be the next 2 days then, or the next 3 days, we don't know. It depends on the user passing the arguments to the number of days. So that should take care of. Right, so which if you really look at your program here, this whole thing is the same thing. We can actually delete the whole thing and just use the calculate day and pass 1, because next day that means, right, you get 1, then return. Then it makes your program like easier to read. Don't have to overwhelm with the same logic over and over again. This is like method, they call it. The whole concept of method is reuse them, not re-implementing them. When it looks the same, try to eliminating your code to look like that. Which is going to be easy now if I want to get public, but previous day, the one that I didn't want to show you it earlier, is easy because previous day is, instead of passing 1 in, you're going to pass what? Previous is minus 1. So you see, from calculate day you take care of the rest of the methods. So we have return the previous, return the next, and calculate and return the day, right, by adding certain days to current day. We gotta test this one. If the current day is Monday, right, we add 4 days, right, it should return what? Friday. Let's test that. So I'm going to say Monday, and also we're going to test the previous day at the same time. Next day should be Tuesday, previous day should be Sunday. So I'm going to see that. I'm going to write, maybe you can cut it text a little bit and understand what we're testing. Program day, right? Concatenate it, and then we're gonna say, I'll just copy this part to say next day. Okay, so I'm gonna name this next day, and another one I'm gonna name it as previous day. And this method should be, instead of next day, should say dot previous day. Let me do that. Let me just create. And another one should be calculate day that we want to test. And in the question is calculate days past 4. You have to take 4, right? And this, let's say, next 4 days. 4 days, okay? So let's run the program. Next 4 days should give you Friday. Oh, it's an invalid day because I used shorten it, right? MON. I didn't use the whole word. Okay. Alright, so interesting now. Let's check what we do next day. We get Tuesday, previous day. There's an error, index outbound. Let's check why. We pass -1 in. -1 day index is going to be 0. That's why we get -1 here. So that means previous day has to take care of this, because this logic we only have for next day when we add. So previous day had to take care of if the day index is 0 and you subtract 1, that's going to be a problem. the same scenario that we have the problem when it get to the end, right? So like at this point it's supposed to give you, if it's Monday, I mean if it's Tuesday that's not a problem, because 1 minus 1 is going to give you Monday. 0 mod 7 is 0. But we have a problem when it get to be Monday. Index of Monday is 0, you subtract 1, you get minus 1. That's why index of Monday there's no such minus 1. Okay, it's actually supposed to return Sunday, which is index 6 at that point. So that means we may need to do if-else statement to take care. Okay, like if it happened to be a negative index, then you might want to solve problem with adding,
yeah, would add 7.
Add 7 back, right? Because minus 1 add 7 you get 6, right?
Just Sunday.
Okay. Now let's think about, how about if I get to, whenever it's negative, right? Yeah, previous day we take care. Okay, how about if I do previous 10 days, or previous, would that take care too? It's going to be like previous 10 days, today is going to be 0 index Monday. The user is going to pass in minus 10, right? Previous 10 days, and we say plus 7 is to give you the negative 3. So plus 7 will not take care. Alright, so if it's negative 3, alright, let's say previous 10 days supposed to, if I plus 7 I get minus 3 back. We can do absolute, right? And do also mod 7 again to make sure it's always remainders 3. Or can we just mod by minus 7? Because it always return positive instead of plus 7. So let's test if we mod, okay, like we said minus 10, right? Mod 7. But we want to mod by minus 7, it should return you positive 3, right? So if that worked, so minus 10 mod minus 7, it happened to return positive. It happened to return negative, that means it's not doing the size operations for us. Okay, so that means we just do absolute then, not dot abs. So let's test again. We said, like, if I do just minus 1, it's supposed to return what? Sunday, right? Then we still have to add 7, because otherwise it's going to return 1, right? So that means we have to do plus 7. But we need to mod in the case of previous, right? Previous 10 days. Now what should be previous 10 days? 6 taken care. So it's Monday, previous 10 days should be what?
Sunday. Wait.
Let's look at the calendar. Monday, previous 10 day, 1, 2,
Thursday.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Friday. So Friday index is 5. So minus 10 plus 2, 7 is what? Minus 5? No.
Minus 3.
Yeah, minus 3. Minus 3 is going to be 3 back. 3 is 0, 1, 2, 3. Actually, previous 10 days is Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Is it right?
Yeah.
Let's count again Monday. We'll say previous 1 day is Sunday.
Yes.
Previous 2 day,
So,
previous 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is this Friday?
Oh yeah.
It's Friday,
Yeah.
so index of Friday is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means if I do previous one day is minus 1. This give you what?
6, 7, 8.
Monday should be Sunday, and index Sunday is 6. It works for that case. How about previous 2 days? Works too, right? Previous 7 days. How about previous 6 day? 6 day first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tuesday, right? So Tuesday index is 1. So that means minus 6 plus 7 is 1. Worked, right? How about previous 7 days? Works because it's minus 7 plus 7 is going to be 0.
Yes.
Previous 8 day, minus 8 plus 7 is what?
Minus 1.
Oh, that's why the problem comes. Because it's supposed to give 6 again. So that means this algorithm has to be revised. Right? Because we said previous 8 days. So 8 days is the issue here. Minus 8 plus 7 give you minus 1. It's supposed to give you Sunday back again.
No, but then they actually changes it to 1. 1 divided by 1 modulo 7 will give 1.
Right. But 1 is not Sunday.
Oh, it's Tuesday.
Sunday has to be 6. So we have to revise our map here. Okay. So I think that's just something that I let you think it has some way to solve the problem too. Okay. But we understand how I just introduced you the logic, how to think and solve that problem. Alright, so now the question also said add the appropriate constructors. Okay, so we have to fix the previous day and make sure you've already data calculate the next 10 days or next previous 10 days, right? This should take care of that too. Revise that logic, which is right here. If you're taking care of this, the rest are already taken care of for you with those previous and next, right? Now constructors, we create them already, right? Set day. If you want to add more constructor, that's fine without the passing in parameters. Set the default to always 1 day or something, which is like this. Public, right? Void. Sorry, constructors is not here. So constructor should start at the beginning of your program, right? And say day, and then do what it is dot day. Always by default, if you don't set the pass in here, right? Make it Monday. Okay, and that's constructor. So now write Java doc comments. We know how to do that. Java doc supposed to go into the top of each class and method like that, right? And say okay, initialized to Monday, something like that. We do 2 asterisks. Make sure you have 2 asterisks. Okay, and for parameters, just say day of the week. Okay. Okay, initialize day of the week. Okay. So like each level should have its own Java doc with 2 asterisks. And for return, you should say, right, return like get the current day. Okay, and this is okay, return current Okay, something like that. So this level is explain the methods. This level will explain what type of data that return. Okay, do for all of them. Okay, so that's what we're supposed to do for all the method that we created. So that is called Java doc. I mean, this is a comments first that we generate Java doc, which like that. And right now I'm not going to fill the rest, but I'll let you do that. You know what you need to do. I'll show you, like, this is the appropriate way to do for each method levels on the top. Now, to generate Java doc, just go to project and generate Java doc. Well, but this part has to configure to when you download your JDK, which is C, right? Program files, and then Java, JDK, bin, and Java doc, right there. So, and then you just hit finish. Just all. If you look at the message, it's going to start to generate for you constructing Java doc. It's warning because I didn't finish the comments. Those are has no arguments, so I need to finish the comments here. Now, if you look back, there's gonna have doc folder created, and this is the index. Right click, open with browser. Okay, web browser, Eclipse has web browser. That's your Java doc. And you review, the constructor should have, like you see, author. That's come from my Java doc right at the beginning. Here, author, annotations, author. Also, each of this initialize day of week. See, day of the week, right? So that's Java doc. If you compare back, initialize, right, day of the week. So that's built in. Just like when you Google for Java doc, it's generated that way. Okay, so that's why we talk about that. And write a driver test to test it. Alright, so that's it. And thank you for watching. If you have questions or concerns, email me at tcanshare@gmail.com. Alright, thank you for watching.